Welcome to Week 14 NFL Picks. I'm your host, Jake Hewitt, staff writer for Chabot Spectator. And because this is probably the last edition we're going to do, we decided to keep it pretty kick back, living room edition, on the couch, in some chairs, kicking it old school. So let me introduce you to the panel. Over there to the far part of the room, we got Bernard Miranda, staff writer for Chabot Spectator. Right here, we got big man Rashawn Mungo, staff writer of the Chabot Spectator. And right here, we got El Diablo himself, the sports editor for the Chabot Spectator, Roger Molina. All right, so, I'm Jake Hewitt, again, staff writer. Soon to be opinion editor, straight up. All right. So this week's games, we decided to go only games with playoff implications. We already know San Francisco's in the playoffs, and we all would have chosen San Francisco anyway. Yeah. So the games we're choosing this week are going to be Oakland at Green Bay, New York at Dallas, Houston at Cincinnati, New Orleans at Tennessee, and Chicago at Denver. So let's get started with the local game, Oakland at Green Bay. This week I'm going to have to go against the Raiders. After last week's loss, last week was just so bad. Last week was really bad against a team a lot of people were saying they should have beat. I chose Miami because I felt that Miami was playing good enough to beat the Raiders. Raiders aren't playing very good. The whole Rolando McClain situation, not helping them out. Their backup linebacker is not very good. All their injuries are starting to catch up with them, and Green Bay is just monstrous. Aaron Rodgers is having one of the best seasons an NFL quarterback has had in the history of the NFL. And I just don't see that defense coming close to stopping him. So I definitely see Green Bay getting the win.
Yeah, well, I'm going to have to go against everyone here, but I'm about to pick the Raiders. Why? I don't know. Just an upset. I haven't been picked with Green Bay all season, so I'm just picking the Raiders. Hopefully they pull it out. No, and then that's another loss for me.
Well, I don't know. Like, I expected the Raiders I expected Miami to beat the Raiders as well. I just think Miami has been playing. Granted, they've been playing like really good football. Like in this last month, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. But I didn't expect the Raiders to lose Well, they didn't lose by 34, but they gave them 34 points.
Yeah, those two touchdowns were garbage.
Yeah, those are garbage touchdowns. So essentially, they lost 34-0. They got exposed really bad. I'm questioning if they're even a playoff team right now. The Raiders, I'm talking about. The Packers, they had a close call with the New York Giants, but I think the Raiders can be competitive with the Packers for probably about 2.5, 3 quarters maybe. Yeah. But I just think the Packers, especially at home, eventually are going to be too much, too fast for too long, and the Raiders just don't have the offense where they can maybe take advantage of Green Bay's defense. So I got the Pack.
Yeah, I got the Packers too. I mean, last week was the second week. The Raiders got stomped by another team. They got beat up by Kansas City. They're just inconsistent, man. You never know what team you're going to get. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think they'll do well, but I don't think that they'll beat the Packers. I mean, the Packers' offense is just dominant, like you said. Aaron Rodgers having one of the best seasons ever, or on pace to have one of the better quarterback seasons ever. So, I mean, I hope the Raiders win, but I would be surprised if they did.
Yeah, okay. That's some good analysis.
Stepping
All right.
it up.
So the next game we're choosing is the New York Football Giants at Dallas, and this has got some serious playoff implications for sure.
This is also really hard to pick.
Yeah, no, this is a hard game to pick, but I got to go with the Giants. For one reason, the Giants quarterback much better than Dallas' quarterback. Eli Manning I think he's having a very underrated but really good year. He throws interceptions. I mean, but it happens. I think it's been very undermined. The yards he's thrown for. He's found a whole new big man target once Kevin Boss left with their new tight end. I forget what his name is, but he's becoming a real weapon for him. And he's been able to spread the ball out. New York has always had a solid run game. Their defense isn't the best, but it's tight. And I can see Dallas definitely folding under that pressure because, to me, anytime Dallas has had, pressure on them, Tony Romo just can't handle it. And that Dallas defense has been so up and down this year. that I can definitely see the New York Football Giants taking this game. So I got the Giants.
I got the Giants too. Like you said, Eli Manning. Basically, it's fourth quarter what it comes down to.
Yep.
Eli Manning's been ridiculous in the fourth quarter, especially on the road, but even at home, he's been really good in the fourth quarter. Tony Romo not as great in the fourth quarter, especially because he has the stigma or whatever. I feel like the Giants right now are a better team. They've even though they lost a heartbreaker to the Packers. Before that, they lost a tough game against the Saints. They've been playing some really tough competition. And the Saints game kind of got ugly, but I mean, I just really feel like they're been in everything. They've been competitive. They haven't given up, and I really like the way they're playing football right now. I feel like they've lost a bunch of games, and they let the Cowboys get back in it. But I don't see the Cowboys actually, even with their easy schedule at the end of the year, I don't see them blowing past the Giants. I think the Giants are going to be. Going to fight them all the way to the end, and I got them in this game. It starts this week.
Giants have had all quality losses.
Yeah, I mean, if it wasn't for Aaron Rodgers, they don't lose to the Packers. That he just fits like
That
the entire
1 minute,
field in
yeah,
like
man.
50 seconds. You can't give him any time.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm taking on the Giants. I mean, Cowboys vs. Giants, division game, qualification. But like you guys said, Eli Manning is Eli Manning and Tony Romo is Tony Romo. I'd rather have Eli Manning than Tony Romo.
Definitely.
Giants defense is pretty good too with Tuck and all of everybody else playing and stuff like that. And even though it's going to be a good and close game, but I'm picking the Giants.
All right, I was in my head going to pick the Giants, but now to try to better my record, I'm going to pick Dallas just because.
Strategy.
Ooh.
Just because, honestly, if Dallas did win, I don't think it would surprise anybody. Both teams aren't really that much better than the other one. I mean, Eli Manning is better than Tony Romo, and I think that the Giants are a more talented team than Dallas. But if Dallas won, it wouldn't be terribly surprising, and I think the game's going to be close either way.
Definitely.
Fourth quarter, like I said, is funny.
Yeah, it's most likely going to come down to the fourth quarter.
I personally just think that I trust Eli Manning.
Oh, I trust
the
Eli
fourth
Manning
quarter
way more.
than the Tony Romo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Especially after Gerhardt blew it in the fourth quarter last week. With the icing his own kicker. Like,
Yeah.
they might do that again. You know what I mean? You don't even know what's going on. So
They've had a couple of tough coaching decisions there at Dallas. I don't know what's going on.
All right, so the next game we're choosing another game with some serious playoff implications. Houston at Cincinnati, and to me this is a unique game just because Houston's quarterback situation.
Right.
There's speculation that they're gonna.
TJ Yates.
Yeah, there's speculation that they're going to try to get Brett Favre, or they're going to try to bring in some other grizzled veteran.
Yeah.
But I mean,
They brought in Delhomme and Garcia already.
T.J. Yates played really good last week.
Against a good
But I'm going to have to go Cincinnati. Andy Dalton, right? Yeah, Andy Dalton.
Red Rifle.
Yeah, Andy Dalton has played insane all season. He's definitely in the talks for Rookie of the Year, if not the front runner. You gotta put some other names in there, but he's playing insane. That Cincinnati defense is very stingy, and I can see them putting a lot of pressure on this rookie quarterback. Andre Johnson didn't have that big of an impact on the field last week. I think it's kind of like the Antonio Gates situation where I think there still might be something wrong with him. I don't think he's completely healed, and I can definitely see Cincinnati taking this one and furthering their push into the playoffs.
I'm also taking Cincinnati. I mean, Cincinnati's played. They've lost a couple games at home, but it's been against the Steelers, which is a good team. The Niners, which is a good team. They're playing at home and playing since losing. They lost last week too, right? To the Steelers, they're gonna try to bounce back, play harder and stuff. So, I'm taking Cincinnati.
Well, I'm taking Houston. Really like Houston. I mean, think about it. They've lost Andre Johnson not once, but they lost him again. The quarterback just went down. They bring in T.J. Yates. T.J. Yates comes in, plays with fourth quarter, secures the win for the Texans. Then he comes in, starts his first game, secures another win. You know what I mean? He looks like a winner. You see him. He passes the eye test. You see him. He doesn't look like a rookie. He comes in. He looks like he knows what he's doing. It looks very comfortable. Taking control of the offense. And also the thing about the Texans is that they have had injuries, but they're still winning. They keep winning. They're 9-3. They're at the top of the AFC. You know what I mean? Nobody's really talking about them, and they just keep winning. You know what I mean? And they had a tough loss against the Raiders. You know, after the Raiders coming into town. Without that, they're 10-2, and they are tied with the Niners for the second best record in the league. You know what I mean? Like, I just really think that Houston, even though they're 9-3, are somehow still underrated. And I just think that they're going to continue. And they got Jeff Garcia now, and they got a couple grizzled veterans. And I don't know about you, Jeff Garcia. Say somehow he has to come and play. He's been a winner his whole career. Everywhere he goes, all he does is win. So even if TJ Yates does, screw up the first half or whatever, and they bring in Garcia, I think he can come back and, win. I just think Texans are got it.
Yeah, I've taken the Texans too. I think that their running game is strong enough to withstand the loss of not one of both their starting quarterbacks. And TJ Yates, he played well. There wasn't you didn't. I didn't watch the game, but I saw the stats, and if he says he played well, I'm gonna believe him. So, but yeah, I don't know. Cincinnati, they beat a lot of weak teams. They're good, but I don't see them coming out of the North. Yeah, and I don't think they're gonna beat the Texans.
All right. All right. So next game we're choosing is New Orleans at Tennessee. And once again, I think this is an interesting game on the schedule, just because New Orleans the past couple of weeks has just put up points. I mean, big time put up points. But also the last.
Maniac.
Yeah. But Sproles and Ingram stepping it up, stepping it up big time. But Chris Johnson's kind of reviving his season big time. He's had like over 150 rushing yards 2 weeks in a row, right? And I mean, that's hard to stop.
Yeah. Gotta move the mouse.
That's hard to stop.
All right, that's hard to stop. But I still got to take New Orleans. New Orleans, their defense isn't playing great, but it's playing good enough to stop any type of passing game Tennessee's going to try to throw out there. And I think it's going to be kind of that bend don't break philosophy with Chris Johnson. Like, do what you can, but he's going to run. And then that offense has just been clicking on all cylinders. It's the offense that everybody has been waiting for New Orleans to bring to the table all year. And I think definitely if you're a Niners fan, watch that New Orleans game. Watch that New Orleans game and see what happens, because most likely the Niners are going to have to face either New Orleans or the Packers, or both of them.
Yeah.
So we already know the Packers are going to be a tough win. We got to watch that New Orleans game and see exactly how this offense is clicking, because they're definitely going to get the win this week, because that offense is just going to be all over Tennessee's defense.
And it's going to be a key too, especially if Chris Johnson does start rushing. What do Niners do best is run the ball. So if they start exposing that would be pretty big to take. But in the game, I'm also have to take the Saints. It's December. Veterans starting to step up. They're trying to keep pace with the Niners for the second seed. So I'm thinking they're going to step up and win. But that's something to look at, is that the running back Tennessee, it gashes them.
Saints as well. Even if I'm just thinking that the Saints just have too many weapons, and they're just going to keep firing those weapons all game. Like Chris Johnson can have a ridiculous game, rush for 150 yards, 170 yards, and get 2 TDs, but the Saints are going to get more than 2 TDs.
Yeah, they definitely.
So Chris Johnson can do whatever you want, and Matt Hasselbeck can have a hell of a game, but I just do not see. Basically, I just think this game is going to be more of well, at least it's going to be a shootout for the Saints. I'll put it like that. Mm-hmm. And the question is can Tennessee score enough points to match up with New Orleans? And I just don't think the way that New Orleans is going right now, I just can't fathom.
Yeah. Yeah. Or you can just skip
it. Oh, no, I forgot.
That's cool, too.
It's living room edition, man. I'm too relaxed.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much analysis to add to this. Taking the Saints, because if Aaron Rodgers wasn't doing what he was doing, we'd be talking about Drew Brees possibly for MVP. He's been throwing it up there, quarterbacking. Yeah.
I'd be talking about Curtis Ponder, actually.
Curtis Ponder?
Really?
No.
Yeah. Okay. But
Did anybody here think I was serious?
Yeah, no.
Everybody looked at me I was like, really?
What?
But speaking of MVP, our next game has some possible MVP implications, because people are going to be talking about the quarterback for the Denver Broncos when MVP talks come. He wins. People are going to be talking about that. He wins. And so the next game we'll be choosing is Chicago at Denver, and I gotta go with Denver for literally the two reasons. One, their defense has been nasty.
Two reasons. T-Bow.
But
That's their only good
the first definitely is that their defense has been nasty. Von Miller and Elvis Dumerville have just been torching the linebacker position all year, and Von Miller is definitely in the talks with Andy Dalton for Rookie of the Year. And their defense has been really stingy every week. Even if they do have some flubs like the first 3 quarters, they always show up in the fourth quarter, and they always shut down, and they always give, which is my second reason, Tim Tebow an opportunity to bring the game back around, make it manageable, and give them an opportunity to win. Everybody's talking about, he doesn't pass enough. Last week he threw for 200 yards, got the win. And I mean, let's all remember when the Raiders went 8-8 last year, Jason Campbell had a couple games where he literally passed for like 79 yards and they won. And nobody said anything about that. And Tim Tebow wins. I've said it since he was in college at Florida. He wins, and that's why I like him. That's why I think he can be a quarterback, because he wins. He finds a way to win. And even if you do game plan around, okay, let's try to stop this option offense, Willis McGahee has gone insane the past couple weeks because they're so concentrated on let's not let Tim Tebow get around on us that they're opening it up for McGahee. He's becoming better and better at being efficient on third down, and I can definitely see them taking out Denver because Denver's quarterback is a choke.
You mean Chicago's?
I mean Chicago's quarterback is a choke. I can see Denver taking out Chicago because Chicago's quarterback is a choke. We saw it with the Raiders. He had the opportunity to win, and he threw the game away, literally.
Well, basically, I'd say that I'm taking Denver too, but not because I have a man crush on Tim Tebow.
It's fine. Whatever.
It's because I don't really think the Chicago Bears would beat anybody this week. To be perfectly honest, quarterback down, have no quarterback. They also, Matt Forte is their offense. He's out. They can't score points. How are they going to move the ball? This is one thing you can say about Tim Tebow is that maybe he isn't the best, quarterback of all time. But the thing is that the defense has been playing great. But the thing with the quarterback is, if nothing else, maybe if it's not even scoring points, is you have to move the ball. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I just don't think that Chicago is going to be able to move the ball, and they're just going to play into Tim Tebow and the Denver Broncos' hands because the defense doesn't really have to worry about much. They just make sure they keep him in the game, and they give Tim Tebow and that offense a chance to win the game with a late field goal in the fourth quarter. This is a game where the Broncos don't have to be spectacular. The pressure is off a little bit. They don't have to worry about beating San Diego with that high-powered offense or anything like that. All they have to do is keep the game close to the fourth quarter, and let Tim Tebow run a 15-minute, 2-minute drill, and
but that's what they do.
And that's what they do. And
They
that's
suck up time.
Yeah, and that's awesome because all you have to do is move the ball. But I'm saying this game to me is more about what the Bears can't do, rather than what Denver can do.
Definitely.
And I just feel like them meeting head to head is perfect time with all the playoff implications.
If Jay Cutler and Matt Forte were in this game, I'd pick Chicago.
Well, we know
They never let me down. I swear to God, I'm this close to picking Chicago right now, but that's a stupid pick because
Why?
Denver
Jay Cutler's going to be on the sideline.
I know.
he's gonna be in the area.
I heard he was on the plane.
With his powers, he'll just make him win. No, I mean it'd be ridiculous to pick Chicago. The Denver defense is too good, and the Chicago offense is nothing to really throw at them. I mean, their playmaker Forte is out, which really messes up my fantasy team too.
How many times are you going to talk about your fantasy?
All the time.
Every time.
Every
3
time.
weeks in a row, man.
Yeah, so I'm also picking Denver. I mean, Tim Tebow has everyone playing, It's late in the season, and they have a chance to make the playoffs, And that's why everyone likes and everyone wants, to make the playoffs. He has them in first place. Willis McGahee's playing good. Von Miller's playing good, and I just can't see him. I can't see him losing.
Bless you.
Bless you.
I know that fucked up.
From Tebow.
Oh, come on, you can't say that.
Oh, you swore on the.
It's
Yeah.
on the radio station. You can swear on
So yeah, I have Denver.
The West doesn't make sense.
So Roger has Denver.
We all
I
have
heard
Roger
you
has
right.
Denver. All right, we all have Denver. All right, so
We
that's
all
the
have
last
Denver.
game we're choosing. We'd
Was that
all.
really the last game?
Yeah, that's the last game.
Was that 5 games? already?
Yeah.
Back when we win, then we're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that only
Um,
5 games?
Yeah.
So we'd like to thank everybody who watches.
Yeah, were the Patriots in there somewhere? Or what are they playing?
Look at the paper. I don't think that's-
Dude, that's it. I swear to you.
You wanna add
There's
another
no
game in there?
Patriots game. No, we're already at like 20 minutes.
Oh, well,
Okay, well,
10 minutes of that is nonsense.
thank everybody for watching all series, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all-
all
we'll
series
probably
because
All
it has.
installments.
it has-
Probably
been
coming
all
back for the
season.
Super Bowl, aren't we?
Yeah, we're gonna try to get a Super Bowl installment in for sure. And
Trying to get it on location.
We should get one at Ricky's.
We should get one at
yeah,
Ricky's,
okay,
too.
yeah, no, we're definitely probably gonna do a broadcast from Ricky's. And thank everybody for watching. I'm your host, and
Thanks,
we'll
Mom.
see you next time.
Thanks, Mom.
Definitely, probably.